If you take a look at all the league champions, you would think, oh, what a cool selection of different characters. And underneath that, there is a hidden problem that has been present since the early days. It has only been getting worse. I recently made a short satiric guide to Bel'Veth, and it made me realize just how bad champion design has gotten over the years. The only purpose of a new champion is selling skins, getting views on YouTube, and maybe making the 7 people that actually get excited. When was the last time you felt hyped up over a champion release? Baad, Jhin, Ornn maybe, I don't fucking know. But I can say with confidence that it wasn't Xante, or Nila, or Zeri. Also, what have the new champions brought to the table? Overtuned kits and absurd abilities that only made the fanbase mad? Or was it the unreleased prestige skin that no one gives a flying fuck about? There is nothing a new champion does that another one can do. We don't need another 1v5 bruiser, an enchanter support, or a mage that doesn't do anything special. Instead, we need a champion that genuinely adds something to the game. For example, Baad is a champion that can spend his time roaming around, a role no other could fulfill until his release. Zeri can become stronger without stealing farm from the ADC, or she can beat the ADC that doesn't need farm, which empowers the support. Ivern takes a completely new approach to clearing the jungle. Xayah and Rakan are a couple. Yuumi takes annoying enchanter to another level. Kindred is a jungle AD carry that hunts people. Amogus Amumu. What I'm trying to say is that with so many champions out right now, new ones have to present something fresh so the game doesn't become stale. When a champion's abilities are revealed, social media is torrent with league players complaining just how absurd, broken and unoriginal they are. And this is only the beginning. On launch day, we get a cinematic and an overtuned broken character. And credit where credit is due, Riot cinematics are some of the, if not the greatest around. They are innovative and interesting, which translated beautifully into Arcane as well, as the show's visuals are really sick. But back to the issue at hand. I understand that a champion needs to be strong in release to compensate the player's lack of experience, but there is a limit to that as well. Xante was able to be both a tank and the main source of damage at the same time. Like, come on Riot, I don't think this was necessary. And of course, it's not looking to be improving ever so slightly. Honestly, this isn't even the worst part of Riot's recent behavior. No, don't worry, I'm not meaning any sexual allegations.
Man, it doesn't matter if you 15, I like young girls.
Okay, in all seriousness, can we talk about just how desperate the champions' designs have gotten? They had something so cool here. Avoid the Empress that has millions of years worth of knowledge in her, but they just use that to make vice. And don't tell me there was a need to add a pretty human face. In fact, all of the last 22 champions were made to be either visually appealing or cute. Out of them, the only one that doesn't resemble a human form is Yuumi. Furthermore, it doesn't even get better until Ivern, who was released in October of 2016, which is where more creatures and such start appearing. I am not trying to say that there is not a space for releasing attractive or cute champions, but the world of Frontera has so much more to offer. Looking back even further, there were appealing champions, but they were mixed among the gods and celestial beings and Shamrock Malphite. It again all ties back to the skins. Ornn barely has any, while Lux gets like 3 a year. And of course anime titties will sell more than the dude that made Aram. But it's where you have to make a decision, Riot. Is everything just about the money? Or should they do something for the community, even if this means sacrificing some quick profit? As a regular consumer peasant, the choice seems obvious. As we all know, the privileged higher-ups ignore any longevity and just want all the money right now. And while you're at it, the community is what ultimately grants you profit, but ignoring it means that they are more likely to go away. Let me put this in terms that you rich people understand. Lack skin now, money now. Caring for community now, more money, but more time. There is only so much time that the community will be able to keep up with this oversaturation of skins, and there is only so much time that it all becomes irrelevant. Let me remind you that LoL skins are worthless. There isn't a steel market to sell them, meaning that if there isn't a community to care, there is no value to it. I wonder where else we can see this trend. Look at Fortnite for example. Everyone that played it remembers the hype surrounding a new battle pass or even a new shop refresh, but they try to cash out, releasing like 100 skins a day, which makes all of them insignificant.
Shit, I ain't gonna tell you cause you already know. I want the skin that's gay.
But Fortnite is another story, and what Epic Games did with it was just a genius rescue of a sinking ship. But that's a video for another time. The same applies to League of Legends. With more and more skins that offer nothing but flashy visuals, they are becoming irrelevant. Why not add either some skins that tell a story or contribute to a narrative, or just some goofy ones? For me, I cannot care less about Winter or Empyrean skins, no matter how revolutionary they look. The ones that really matter and make impact are the ones that have a story to tell. Robot Nunu, Firefly Teco, all the world skins, the Silly Bee skin line, Draven, Peter Griffin Zeri, Grom Gragas with Gragas and Pet Gragas minions.
Bomba!
Picture this, it's 2017, Riot just dropped a teaser for a new AD carry. He's this virtuoso badass artist that kills people. When you finally get to play him, you realize that he has this weird new mechanic, only having 4 shots. It's hard to lane with him, but it feels rewarding when you scale up, and hitting that 4th shot is straight up orgasmic. Fast forward to 2022. The new AD carry is this random hit from zone. She seems like a replaceable character and there is nothing all that special about her. Her abilities are nothing all that new. You play her while she's broken and then never pick her up again and forget about her completely. This is a bit of an extreme example as Jhin is such an exception, but my point is that new champions are visually not as cool, at least generally speaking. Comparing the last 6 champions to the ones that were released in 2016, we can see quite the difference. There was still space for ties because Riot seems to really enjoy them, but others were all unique and different from each other. There is Talia, who is just a generic female, but she is contrasted by other beings. In the current last 6 champions, the only non-humans are Vex and Bel'Veth, and even they have some human features. Again, why does she need an appealing face and these chonkers? Despite everything, there was still a space for cuteness in the form Ivern, but others were fucking badass. To say Nila is badass, does Cassante go hard, and Renata's looks a different approach? Taking a look at Nila specifically, she's a wandering traveler from an unknown land. I think travelers in other fantasy worlds use face treatment products and keep their hair clean and look like they are a child of a rich family in the East. Her appearance adds nothing to the story of the game, but it should add some extra dollars in Mr. Riot's pocket. I was mainly covering clocks in this video, but I believe that the biggest issue is yet to be discussed. Please note that I am in no way an expert on game design. In fact, I can barely understand Visual Studio Code. But what I'm noticing is that there is an ever-growing increase, not only in the difficulty of new champions kits, but also in adding new complex, never-before-seen abilities. Silence can still other ultimates, Vigor is able to take over enemy corpses, Action has a revive, Renata's ultimate and E. Hell, even Gromp has a bomba. What I'm trying to say is there is only so much new things Riot can introduce without them being repetitive. We're already seeing this take place as Nila is just a Samira with Diana's ult, Seraphine is literally a Sona rework, Renata has a swing hook and a Lulu boost. With Riot releasing 4 new champions every year, it's only a matter of time before they do every possibility without it getting boring or breaking the game completely. Like what are they gonna do next? Go 3D? Don't get me wrong, seeing new groundbreaking concepts, it's really awesome, but with so many new champions being constantly released, even those run out eventually. Valve and Nintendo may ignore their fans, but we should not allow Riot to do the same. League is a great game because of its mechanics and interesting playstyle, not because of Star Guardian 2022 Golden Prestige Edition Luck Skin 7000 new animations. It is 13 years old and if it keeps going that way, I don't know if someone will be making a video about it being 20 years old. Riot, I love what you do, I love your quirky ideas and easter eggs, I love your music videos, events and tournaments, but please react to the fanbase's desperate call for help. I am of the belief that despite Riot's great work, they have gradually been underperforming more and more. This was just some constructive criticism, hoping that Riot will course correct, at least slightly. Everything is still good, thanks for Arcade, and I wish all the folks at Riot all the best.